everybody, and welcome to North 100, a Canadian Highlander podcast. My name is Serge. Joining me today, we've got a Wheeler. I switched it up.
Hi.
We got a Nelly.
Gungala, Gungala.
And we got on tech a James.
I have so many things to say this week, you guys. You have no idea.
Start us off, James. How you doing?
I'm pretty good.
Yeah?
Yeah.
On a scale of 1 to Gungala, how Gungala are you?
I'm like Gunga.
You dig any holes this week, buddy?
Yeah, I'm always digging holes.
Oh, wow.
Nice.
Wow,
Yeah.
good to hear. So nice for James to, contribute to the show every now and then.
What the hell was that? You know what? What was that face, Wheeler?
What? I'm ready to talk. man.
Speaking of contributing to the show, patreon.com/loadingreadyrun. You did this, and you give us lots of contributions to our shows, and we couldn't do it without you. We appreciate it. See any cards you like today? cardkingdom.com/LRR. It's affiliate code to let them know that we sent you. You can buy your singles there. We encourage it. And if you say Loading Ready Run sent me, you can get a button. And finally, if you want to protect your cards, use nothing but the best, Dragon Shield. At checkout from their store, you can use promo code LRRMTG5 for 5% off. Hello, friends, and welcome to part 2 of our Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles set review. This is not an exhaustive set review. We do not talk about every single card, just the ones that we think are relevant to the format or that we think you're going to ask us lots and lots of questions about. We are covering the main set. There's also some supplementary product. So if there's some weirdo cards that you look at and you're like, I didn't know where this was, it is in there somewhere. There's
supple product.
Supple products. And today we're covering green cards, gold cards, and the artifact cards. So sort of the final wrap-up of everything. We're going to start with the Courier of Cosmetables. I believe it's Greek.
Gungala.
Comestibles.
Of Comestibles. This is a 2-mana 1/2 creature human citizen for 1 and a green. When this creature enters, you may search your library for a food card. Reveal it, put it into your hand, and then shuffle. If you don't put a card into your hand this way, create a food token. Wheeler, start us off.
So this is a 2-mana creature that if you don't get to do the exciting thing, it just makes a food, which is something that is already occasionally played in some of these food/game object decks. It's just card that makes other card. That's kind of cool. The fact that you have the flexibility to find a specific food, which right now there's I'm not like, oh boy, nutrient block or whatever, but it's not nothing. Finding Sir Ginger, finding, Ginger Brute if you really want to, being able to find, there are some bigger foods that currently don't see much play in those decks, but maybe they will, maybe they should. I don't know, a removal spell that happens to be a food is not the worst thing in the world, especially if it curves from the Courier into that.
There's a 4-mana limited food artifact in this set, for example. It's just like a Doomblade.
Yeah, exactly.
4-mana food artifact when it enters play, destroy a creature or something.
Also, they're clearly not done, so this sort of...
No, this is... Yes.
Yeah.
This is the part... This is exciting. This is so promising,
It's
right?
got Goblin Matron vibes of, they're going to make more food, right? And maybe at the time, right now, the food looks a little goofy. Or they're
They haven't brought out the entrees yet at the buffet.
It's not the most impactful set of targets for you to find.
You can tutor up a whole house salad, but maybe next year.
Yeah, but they're going to print a batter skull. They're going to print a Cauldron
batter
Complete.
skull food.
Right. They're going to
Ooh.
print a food skull clamp, and then you'll have a tutor for it.
There's got to be something, right? Now that this exists, you just get to look at every food and be like, well, is it worth playing that with this card? Yeah, I don't know. This card's fine. The rate's pretty all right. Does what you want to do in the deck that's built around exactly this.
God, Green Sun for 2 into this, hit another card, right?
That's kind of exciting.
Yeah.
Not bad.
All right, next up, Leatherhead Swamp Stalker. This is a 4-mana 5/4 legendary creature, Crocodile Mutant Rogue. With Trample, Leatherhead enters with a hexproof counter on her. Have they ever used a pronoun in that way before?
They've started using them for
That's
legendary
interesting.
creatures.
I like that.
Just last year.
Yeah. And whenever Leatherhead deals combat damage to a player, you may remove a counter from her. When you do, destroy target artifact or enchantment that player controls. Nelly, start us off.
What an annoying card. Why would they print this? It doesn't have haste, but otherwise No notes?
Well-
I don't know. It's
well,
got
with a-
hexproof, so instead of haste, right? Yeah.
Good news, Nelson. With
Yeah.
Arena of Glory.
Yeah. Yeah, like gosh, this this is scary.
Gorsh.
It's 4 mana, so a lot, it's hotly contested, but most of the time when I see a scary legendary creature on this show, I'm just like, don't play it, Nelly. It's a trap. Surge and Wheeler are always going to have their Caracas
We're
out
always
on
just going to
turn
have
3.
Caracas. Yeah.
Every single game of North 100 Showdown. Don't play it. But Leatherhead doesn't care about that because she has hexproof. So, if you are willing to risk getting bounced by their Caracas, you're only doing that after you needed to blow up their Mox or their Jitte or their Time Vault or whatever. It plays interaction. It plays trample damage. It plays decent stats. The stats actually for today's rate are only fine. Like 4 mana, 5/4. That's okay. But yeah, I don't know. Like,
Oh no, I've blown up your equipment or your powerful artifact. Now you Caracas it. So I do it again.
Yeah.
And then when I replay it, you don't get to Caracas it.
yeah, worth noting, you can't blow up their artifact or enchantment if Leatherhead dies in combat, right? Because you need to be able to remove a counter from her while she's on the battlefield. I don't think you can, combat damage step, this is dead, then also blow up a thing, even though you dealt combat damage to a player with trample. But there's enough things going right on this that, any deck that's
Just
running out green 4-drop should probably consider it.
removing any counter from
Yeah.
her.
If you have a way to
is
put
so
any other
sure.
counters on
Sure.
too. Yeah.
Absolutely.
This is unlike there's from Lord of the Rings, there's cards that had enters with an indestructible counter, and you have to remove that specific counter. This is
Yes.
templated a little bit more generously.
Also, just worth noting for anyone who's trying to be a total sicko and play Boggles in our format, one more totally fine hexproof creature if you're considering playing a bunch of auras or something.
Thrun is a lot scarier than you'd think.
Yeah.
my God.
as a magic card in Highlander.
Yep.
Yeah.
Watch a Jeskai deck after you play Thrun. Now you're probably still gonna lose. But at least that one spot they're like, oh my god.
Yeah.
Wrath Disguise?
Yeah.
Terminus?
I can't believe I have to use this card.
Right.
Yeah.
Half of my answers didn't work there.
Yeah.
All right, next up we have Michelangelo Improviser. This is a 4-mana 4/4 legendary creature, Mutant Ninja Turtle, for 3 and a green. It has Sneak for 2 green. Whenever Michelangelo deals combat damage to a player, you may put a creature card and or a land card from your hand onto the battlefield. Wheeler.
So I've been playing this Eldrazi deck in Highlander recently, where it is incredible the amount of mana that you can generate in this format when your opponent doesn't Fury you. But even if they do, you've got you got some 0-4s. It's not as bad as people make it out to be.
Right.
And that deck plays all of the big, stupid Eldrazi. Basically, if you watch the Canadian Highlander year-end, one of the competitors, Spencer Kanaka, brought an Eldrazi hoof style deck. Now, terrible player and terrible deck. There are a lot of slots in that deck that were targeted at other cards that players were going to play because it's the top 8.
Yeah.
You kind of have
Orcus
a
Bowmaster,
metagame
right?
kind
Yeah,
of card.
yeah.
Yeah.
my version of the deck, those cards are replaced by big, stupid Eldrazi, basically. You go really hard on the theme. And I gotta tell you, one of the best cards in that deck is something called Yuna's Decision. It's like a 4-mana card from the Final Fantasy Commander, where it's as part of resolution, sack a creature, and if you do, you draw a card, and then you get to put a creature and or land from your hand into play. Which actually just reads put Emrakul into play.
Right.
Or put
And
an
a land.
Ulamog or a Kozilek or something disgusting into play. And the amount of times that just happens, you're like, I can't believe I got away with this.
Right.
You can get away with so much. And so coming back to Michelangelo, this deck generates a lot of spawn tokens, scion tokens, has a lot of mana dorks. You can find a spot to turn all those sideways, pay 4 mana, put this bad boy into play, and then all of a sudden, oops, Emrakul. Oops, Primeval Titan.
I was going to say, do you only like it in an Eldrazi deck, or do you think this can also be a mid-range threat? Because those hoof decks, right? They don't even necessarily need You are playing 6-drops, right? Like you
Yeah.
said. Like, or do you like it in like the big cheat style?
Do you still ever play that? Is there still a deck for that cool ninja bug from
Springheart?
Springheart and
Springleaf Avenger.
Springleaf Avenger.
Yes.
Because like hit them with that, then next turn hit them with this, then put the Springleaf back into play.
I haven't seen that card show up too much.
That card was so
I
cool.
love that card.
As
That
green
card's
ninjas
Yeah.
go, you know. Like,
that was the only green ninja. I
for what
believe.
it's worth,
Yeah.
the last time I played that, well, maybe I played it in medium green on like a Friday night. It's
been a few years.
But the last time I played it in a tournament, I won that tournament
Yeah.
Right.
with that card in green white.
Yeah,
and
right.
so
that card's great.
Yeah, well, the sneak and ninjutsu outside of blue is, again, we talked about with some of the red ones, like the red Raphael, is that they don't see it coming. They really don't see it coming.
They never expect a
Yeah.
green player to be like, well, I mean, a little bit different now with web slinging, a little
bit,
not
yeah.
in combat, right?
But like, even if the play pattern of this card is like, I don't know, return like a ETB creature to your hand,
Right.
and then put it into play. That's pretty exciting.
Yeah,
That's getting you
even if
more damage.
You're just talking about literally returning the attacker to play after.
Yeah, you just put it back into play.
That's a fascinating play pattern because one of the downsides of the ninja deck is you've spent all this mana and you're not really ahead on board
Right.
because you've taken a creature that was already in play and just sometimes even downgraded it, to be honest, right?
Yeah, you're definitely making a tempo play, whereas this one, it's a tempo play, but it's more just like, I'm just putting more stats on the board.
Yep.
I'm kind of trying to get around this. But I do think that big green decks, like Green Machine, even beyond like the Hoof or the Elves deck or whatever, underexplored in our format. Just like green red, or just, putting big dum-dums into play. Like, it's good. It gets you go over the top of a lot of different decks.
And the graveyard hate doesn't stop you.
Yeah.
Right?
Sure.
Whereas like that's been the traditional successful way to just get big idiot onto the
Oh,
battlefield.
sure.
Right.
Yeah, cheated that way.
Right?
Yeah.
All right, next up, we have Michelangelo, the Heart. This is a 2-mana, 2/1 legendary creature, Mutant Ninja Turtle. Has trample, has the special ability word here, raid, the fridge. And at the beginning of your second main phase, if you attacked this turn, put a +1/+1 counter on target creature and create a food token. Nelly.
Pretty exciting. Worth noting, only 1 toughness, but Michelangelo doesn't need to attack in order to get this trigger. If you are in, the middle of the game and there's creatures on both sides or whatever, just another, albeit slightly less powerful, the 1/1 Luminarch Aspirant. Another Luminarch Aspirant, right? Still able to generate a +1/+1 counter every turn, and able to generate a food token every turn for no mana. So I think where we'll see this is in some of the decks that are looking to play game objects, looking to get some value out of having a bunch of foods around, but also wanting to attack. And like, this card it's only 2 mana for a 2/1 trample. So any of either +1/+1 counters or aggressive green strategies, or there's some sort of crossover hybrid with like a food tokens end game, Tireless Provisioner Academy Manufacturer end game, but you're trying to play like a green beatdown strategy. This kind of leans into both directions.
It's kind of,
For only 2 mana.
This is going to sound funny because like we found a way to make Ocelot Pride good.
Right.
Right. Pride's obviously a great card. For what it's worth, in Canlander, there are a lot of boards where your Pride does not get to attack.
Yeah.
Like, it's a different landscape than, say, 60-card formats, where you have the reliable Pride into how do I get the Pride through. Like, that's your game plan or whatever. And food tokens are like the Ocelot Pride's best friend because they put you towards the city's blessing. Then they let you gain life without having to push combat. Mm-hmm. And then when you go to make all your tokens, you've made a food token.
You get the food
so you get the
back.
food as
Yeah.
well.
Yeah.
So it's kind of cool that like, I could see this card showing up in a Selesnya deck, I guess. Because it's kind of cool that it does something that helps grow your board in a variety of ways. And just kind of plays into some of your best cards. And it's not that embarrassing itself, right? Like the play pattern of like, I played a Mana Dork on 1, I attacked. I played a Mana Dork on 1, I played this on 2, I attacked, and then I grew this into a 3/2 with a food.
Yeah,
it's
works.
Works
really well with we were talking in the last episode about like Trellisara, Soul Warden, Beatdown, or whatever decks where you're just like green white, Johnny's Pride mates, and
Right.
like this fuels those strategies too.
I think the goal with this card is to get it to be your guaranteed attacker.
Right.
And that's not that tough because a 3/2 attacks pretty reasonably. Green X decks are tough to block when they're attacking. Like, you might get blown out. You might just be able to clear the way, or your thing gets too big. Yeah.
Or you might just trade and then they just have more stuff. They just keep playing creatures.
Cool.
Yep.
All right, next up, another Michelangelo. This one, Weirdness to 11. This is a 2-mana 1/1 legendary creature, Mutant Ninja Turtle, for 1 and a green. When Michelangelo enters, create a mutagen token. If 1 or more +1/+1 counters would be put on a creature you control, that many +1/+1/+1 counters are put on it instead.
Favorite line of text.
Hey, I nailed that without cracking.
Yeah, you did
nailed it.
great.
Yeah.
It's just weird template.
Yeah,
I know.
the last time I saw this, I don't think Graham and I could speak for the next 10 minutes.
You're up, Wheeler.
Well, it's a hardened scales on a creature that only costs 2, that also brings a way of generating +1/+1 counters. So, like, some of the stuff that we've talked about regarding this style of card is that sometimes you have the hardened scales, and then you're like, God, I wish this was a creature.
Yeah.
Sometimes you have a token generator, a counter generator, and you're like, a counter is kind of cool, but I wish I was doing the thing I want my deck to really
I wish
do.
I had a hardened scales.
Yes,
Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah.
This does both, which is great.
All 3 really, because sometimes you have both, but you don't have a creature, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like this card hits the table, makes itself a 3/3, and then just says like, okay, every other time that you try to grow something, you can make it bigger.
You're off to the races.
Me, I'm just like a pretty reasonable on rate plus card. Making obviously a game object, also the same thing that we talked about the previous Michelangelo. The Selesnya decks especially, or green white X, love to just put game objects into play. I don't think you're playing this in the aforementioned like food / time sieve kind of deck. But like, yeah, in a dedicated counters deck or a green aggressive deck that just happens to play a bunch of counter generators, like, I guess that's what I'm getting at, is that you don't have to be the deck that says I'm playing hardened scales. You could be a green white deck where you're like, damn, I put a lot of counters on things. Maybe I'll play Michelangelo.
I'll just have another
Maybe
2
I just
drop,
need.
why not, right?
Yeah, it's another 2-drop. You could cut like a clunky 3, add this at 2, and then be like, wow, Ouroboros is even more broken. Wow, Luminar Gasperin is so good. And that's kind of nice. It's 2 mana. You don't want to Caracas this.
No.
Yeah.
You get another mutagen token.
Yeah. When I go to the Forge, it gets 3 +1/+1 counters. Right?
Okay.
All right, next up we have Mutagen Man, Living Ooze. X green gets you a legendary creature Ooze Mutant 2/3 with trample, and activated abilities of artifact tokens you control cost 1 generic less to activate. When Mutagen Man enters, create X mutagen tokens. Nelly.
Oh no, Judge. If I immediately need to know if I have this and Forensic Edgetear on the table, if I'm allowed to pay 0 to sacrifice a clue. Because you can't use that ability. You can't use Forensic Edgetear's ability to reduce to 0, but can you use this one's ability to reduce to 0? Because it doesn't say that.
I don't think so.
It just says cost 1 less to activate. I don't know. Anyways, this card's pretty exciting. It doesn't say on it that this can't reduce your activated ability down to 0.
All right, hold on.
So, like, you can move any equipment that has only 1 to activate. You can move it around for free as you move things around. Like,
I'm just looking at this as the game object deck, man. Clue
totally
tokens.
fine.
I mean, honestly, the moving artifact around is kind of interesting. But
yeah, maps are now 0.
That's what I mean,
Bloods are now 0. Obviously,
food is 1. Clues is 1. Oh,
silence. Level 1's about to speak. Yeah, the cost reduction, because my first thought was there's no way they let you do that. But obviously, these effects have to apply, and you are the one that is getting to choose in which the order in which these effects
Usually,
apply.
right?
So you go to pay the cost, you have modifiers, and you select which ones apply. So you say Gadgeteer is making this cost 1 less, which puts it to 1, and the Mutagen Man makes it 1 less,
Yeah.
which puts them to none.
So-
yes, it does work the way you want it to.
Okay, so yeah, in specifically the game objects deck, maybe you're playing both of these, and then it's like pretty exciting.
Somewhere in Victoria, BC, as we were talking about this card, Jacob Varro went, oh,
yeah, like,
this is
like
so
Jacob Varro just tripped to the sidewalk, doesn't know why, caught himself. Like,
I can't even remember what this card was called. It was so janky. He was playing this card. It was like X and then like 4
Farmer
green-
Cotton.
No. It was. I think it might have been like XX and then 3 or 4 green blue hybrid cards.
Oh, Doppelgang.
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 Can we bring up Doppelgang, please? Because I didn't
From
even know this
Murders-
card existed.
From Murders of Karlov Manor.
Yeah, you don't
Yeah.
know Murders Karlov, man?
Yeah.
I mean, I knew the set, but I didn't know Doppelgang.
It's just before Elegant
but
Parlor.
it's like XX and then create a copy of X tokens you already create or control or something ridiculous like that.
It makes a bunch of
For each of X target permanents, create X tokens that are copies of that permanent. Right? X,
Triple
X, X,
green,
Like,
blue.
look, I'm looking at this, and I'm just like, what? And he's like, oh yeah, dude, this card's cracked.
It is cracked. It's a crazy fireball.
Well,
Yeah.
when you're living at the Tolarian Academy, everything
Yes.
looks like a 1-drop.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
But so
I got to pay. I have to
So,
pay that green. Though,
seeing
you're
as how
saying.
I don't
Yeah.
even know how to evaluate Doppelgang, is Mutagen Man just better than that? Just like create X artifacts for the next thing you get to do. Go ahead.
Well, they're different. I think they're completely different.
Sure. Okay.
I think that Doppelgang is the kind of card that you want to cast after, say, you've resolved Mutagen Man. Because Mutagen Man is one of these cards where I'm just going to create a bunch of game objects, which is then going to facilitate my other cards and make my Tolarian Academy tap for 1,000,000 mana, right? Maybe you already had Academy before you Mutagen Manned, but then after you've Mutagen Manned, your Academy goes from adding 3 mana to adding 13 mana.
Yeah.
Which unlocks the Doppelgang, basically. Like you could have like a 5 mana Doppelgang and it'll do something powerful in a lot of instances. But like you really want that card after you've developed this Mutagen Man and they go, well, I need to kill this creature. And they do, but they didn't get rid of the Mutagen tokens.
Yeah.
And you go, congratulations. Now I have 50 Academy
I tap with
manufacturers.
1,000,000. Yeah. Fascinating.
Yeah, this Mutagen Man's really good.
I look at it specifically in that deck, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, unlocking that crazy, double spell turn that we just talked about is sort of the middle of the road, I think, for like success in Mutagen Man. We haven't even talked about just the base version of this card, which is like a trampling Hydra with power equal to however much mana you have, right? Which is we've already seen like we kind of like in this format.
I don't believe it comes in with X. It's always a 2/3.
Well, stay with me. Stay with me here.
But then you pump it with all the mutagens.
Its own
Sorry.
abilities just synergize with itself.
That's valid. I'm sorry.
No
Yes.
worries. No worries.
You were making the logical next step.
It's okay. Sometimes, especially if you're a Canadian Highlander deck brewer, the like most obvious base play pattern of the card isn't available to you because your eyes just get bigger than the rest of your head as soon as you think about all the things it can do when you add it to the rest of the stack with your toys. So yeah, this is an exciting card that specifically Tolarian Academy brewers are going to look forward to working with. But like, Shivan Devastator, like that one has flying and haste, but is kind of the most recent example I can think of where we just like to have, X big thing.
If I may give a slightly more recent example, but also one that does play in exactly the play pattern you're talking about.
Yeah.
Gold Vein Hydra from OTJ.
Right.
It's like an X, it's a trampling haste vigilance Hydra or some crap.
Yeah, I made that's right. I made proxies of both of those cards the last time I played either of them. Yeah.
The Gold Vein Hydra, when it dies, you make a bunch of tap treasure tokens. So it feeds into the Academy game plan.
Yeah.
But like it's the card where you're like, wait, I just have 6 mana. Yeah, I'll just play this 5/5 vigilance trample haste creature that you don't want to kill, but you have to get rid of or you're going to just die. And the same thing with the Mutagen Man. You just play it and you're like, wait a minute. This thing's like a 6/6.
What if I just played a 6/6 trap? What if I just played Colossal Dreadmaw here? That might be fine.
But also you get to spread the mutagens. You don't necessarily need to put them on Mutagen Man, though he likes it. But you can put it on other stuff.
Yeah.
Right? So the play pattern could be like, I put a bunch of mana into this Mutagen Man, and then I'm just going to grow my Birds of Paradise or whatever and swing over.
Yeah, or I can just assemble like a lethal attack this turn, and then I still have a 2/3 if they have.
There are a lot of decisions to be made with this card at even just like the base level. That's kind of exciting.
Yeah.
Final green card we're going to talk about is Ninja Pizza. This is a 3-mana enchantment for 2 and a green. Foods you control have tap, sack this artifact, add 1 mana of any color. At the beginning of your second main phase, create a food token, Wheeler.
Okay, so we've seen similar-ish cards such as Knight of Sweet's Revenge, which makes the food. The food can tap for mana. Jaheira, 2-mana legend that makes all your tokens tap for mana. This one requires you to sacrifice your food. That's not the biggest issue because you'll never believe it. Your deck has a lot of cards that care about you sacrificing food.
You're saying you put food cards in the food deck?
That's right. It also just adds mana of any color, whereas the previous 2 cards don't. They only add green.
Jaheira's only green,
Yeah, and so getting that flexibility in the color that you're generating is pretty exciting. And then it just makes food. Like, it does something passively throughout the game.
Wild, actually, because I don't think there's a lot of things that do that. They're either enters triggers or combat triggers.
Right.
So this raid one from Foundations, but you know.
Yeah. But this just says, like, you can just be chilling.
Yeah.
The second main phase can be a little annoying at times, where maybe you want the food to then grow your, like, the Bigfoot Hobbit, or the rapacious guest. There are some hobbits that care about having the food if you're going more aggressive. But, like, it makes food. It sits around doing that for the entirety of the game and just gives you a bunch of mana of any color.
Yeah,
and causes them to change zones. Worth mentioning, there are a lot of food cards or cards that get played in these decks that care about them going to the graveyard.
Yeah, whenever you sack a food.
Under the assumption that you're going to be sacrificing food by paying mana or having additional cards. And so getting to have the foods change zones in a way that then lets you use that mana to play something else is pretty exciting.
What's the name of the big cat?
Igra.
Right. Players are just like, every time you sack a food, it gets bigger.
Yeah, I mean, honestly,
if you can just make your Igra unblockable or give it trample, like
there might be some combo with Igra and this card, like where all your creatures are foods, which means all your creatures can sack themselves to add mana, which we'll figure out the rest of it.
Yeah. Step 3, profit.
Oh,
yeah,
man.
exactly.
So I don't want to be brewing food again, but this, man.
It's okay. Let the community do it this year.
You had 1 year of trying to win tournaments. Now you get a year of like accepting your losses.
It's a new year, new resolutions.
Yeah.
Serge, are you familiar with Dabda?
I'm not.
Oh,
I don't know what that is.
It's the stages of grief, of denial, acceptance,
bargaining.
Where's the part where you go back to step 1 and you go through it?
Oh, you're allowed to do them in any order.
Yeah, you can do them in.
Stay on one for as long as you want.
It triggers at your second main phase, but you get to pick which of Dabda you would like to.
Great.
Yeah.
Let's move on to gold. First up, we have Bebop and Rocksteady. This is a 3-mana 7/5 legendary boar rhino mutant for 1 and a green black hybrid. I don't know why I said it that way instead of black green, but regardless. Whenever Bebop and Rocksteady attack or block, sack a permanent unless you discard a card. Nelly.
Okay, so we love that new weird Regisaur has 7 power again, because last time did they only give us 6?
Spider-Man gave us like a 6/5.
The Green Goblin was
it's like a 5/4.
Yeah.
They were
like
small, right?
Yeah, they didn't do a close enough impression of Rotting Regisaur for us. This one's closer. You can cast it for Rotting Regisaur mana, basically, or in green. Which is like not really relevant.
No.
If you're in green and you have 1 in green,
well, you
probably
playing this in green, Wheeler?
I definitely, as you're reading this card, I'm like, you don't need to mention the green symbol.
Yeah, you don't need to mention the green.
Yeah, you're fine.
You should have a better option for your creature. But so you're in black. You're trying to put cards in your graveyard. That's what we love about Regisaur.
You're already on Regisaur.
Your power is more than double of the mana you spent. That's the other thing we love about Regisaur. Both things need to be true for Regisaur to have a home. And still this year, Regisaur is very, very rarely getting to see play. But Regisaur has he's cemented in our hearts because he's had some cool action in Rakdos in the past, basically. This one's legendary, which is too bad, but lets you sacrifice a permanent instead. So specifically in your black Delirium decks, it's got a bit of extra value because maybe the thing that you need to discard is actually already in play.
I mean, it's worth noting that these discard decks do make blood tokens,
Yep.
right? Like
Yeah.
they make blood tokens. They'll make creature tokens, like your Seasoned Pyromancer or whatever that you're probably playing is going to make some 1/1s. I am so ready to build a terrible black-red deck with this card.
Hell
Like,
yeah.
The other thing this has going over Regisaur is like if you don't get to the point where you attack because your opponent's planning to kill it before then, you don't lose anything. I guess they put the trigger on the stack.
That's the thing. Like I was literally thinking the
Yeah,
same
okay.
thing. Rotten
All right.
Regisaur and the upkeep, they can wait for you to
Yeah.
discard and then remove it. And
They-
this, they can wait for you to attack and
Yeah,
then
okay.
remove it. Like it's
That's-
still,
yeah,
it's still
actually
weak.
still relevant because you can maybe just Thoughtseize them.
It's not relevant if you don't care about it, man.
That's
You just
fair.
let it happen. Just accept. Look, you're playing.
If you're playing this,
you're
yeah,
playing
You're
Bebop,
playing a
Rocksteady.
deck with Bebop
yeah,
and Rocksteady. It's not time to think. Like, if you
Yeah.
wanted to think, you should have done it before you sleeved up your Regisaur.
I mean, he's got a point.
Just discard that Detective's Phoenix and get in there.
Mhm.
All right. Next up, we have the Mechanized Ninja Cavalry. This is a 2-mana 1/1 artifact creature robot ninja for 1 and a red-white hybrid. When this creature enters, create a 1/1 colorless robot artifact creature token. Wheeler.
Bit of a bread and butter card. It's a creature that brings a friend. Doesn't have the gotcha quality of Raise the Alarm or the Resolute reinforcements or allies. You know, we've seen this a couple of times. But what it does have is a little bit of flexibility in how you cast it. Hybrid mana is pretty reasonable, especially in these 2-color decks. Like you could see like a Boros tokens list, maybe a heavy Blood Moon causes you to have not a ton of white mana, so you get some flexibility when you play it. It also just makes 2 artifacts. That's kind of interesting. Yeah, just kind of a straightforward card. Like we've seen this with the Goblin Instigator and like Krenko's commands and all that stuff. And like the surprise, look, if you play against somebody on tokens and they just like pass with 2 mana open, like, come on, you know what's happening. Like, might make your sorcery speed removal a little more awkward, but like, you're not going to be like, oh my god, why did I attack into that? Who could have like ever imagined that a Raise the Alarm would come from a tokens deck that just had 2 mana open and didn't do anything?
My poor sweet Ragavan.
Oh no. Yeah. So bread and butter card, nice for what it does. Flexible, cool.
Next up, we have Mikey and Leo, Chaos and Order. This is a 2-mana 2/2 legendary creature mutant ninja turtle for a green-white hybrid, so 2 mana total. Whenever you put a counter on a creature that you control, draw a card. This ability only triggers once each turn. Nelly.
Surge.
Yeah, nice. I consider this to be the most important thing that is holding back the counters decks right now. There's
Not enough turtles?
not enough turtles.
Not enough Adanto Vanguard.
Not enough.
Or-
No.
what's it
Dusk
called?
Legion.
Right.
Dusk Legion.
Dusk Legion
Duelist.
Zealot.
Duelist.
Dusk Legion
Yeah,
Duelist.
yeah.
Oh, Dust
Sorry.
Legion Zealot.
So yeah, Dusk Legion Duelist is a 2-mana 2/2 vampire for 1 and a white. It has the exact same line of text, and we hammer this point home for every emerging archetype: density. Why have one of these effects when you could have 2 of these effects? That's all.
I will push back on this Dusk Legion Duelist.
You don't love it.
No, it's
Sorry.
good. It just, that card gets bigger.
Sure.
It puts
sure.
like
It does more than this card.
It has vigilance and stuff.
But you
Sure.
can cast this for 2
Right?
green.
Does a little bit more. Yeah.
So
the-
Dusk Legion Duelist says whenever you put a +1/+1 counter on this card, draw a card.
I'm
This says whenever you put a creature on a creature you control, draw a card. I don't think Dusk Legion.
Next year, we're going to learn what Dusk Legion Duelist
No.
does.
I think this is possible. Other than the fact that this is a legend, I think this is better than Dusk Legion.
Sorry, yes. So it's 1 or more counters on the duelist. You draw a card. It has vigilance, and it's 1 and a white. It's a 2/2. Only
Yeah.
once each turn. So this one can target any creature. Yeah. It doesn't attack as well, is I guess what I'm saying.
Yeah,
Sure.
it doesn't have vigilance.
Sure.
And the Caracas is
Ever present
Caracas
in our
are.
format.
Obvious
yeah.
consideration.
Yeah, but I like this card. I
yeah.
agree with what you're saying.
Yeah.
I just want to make sure that like vigilance is a pretty big deal in a counter stack.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. All right, next up we have Raph and Leo, Sibling Rivals. So 3 mana gets you a legendary creature, Mutant Ninja Turtle 2/4. That 3 mana is 1 generic and then a red-white hybrid. Whenever Raph and Leo attack, if it's the first combat phase of the turn, untap 1 or 2 target attacking creatures. After this phase, there's an additional combat phase. Nelly.
Gross. Sorry, only 3 mana for a 2/4 that gives you extra combat phases with 2 of your creatures? Like, I mean, one of the most played creatures in the format is Fear of Missing Out.
Yeah.
And we mostly do that one just because it's a looter and it's a 2/3 for 2. And this isn't either of those. But when you play with a lot of Fear of Missing Out, you end up in games where you're just like, oh, wait, are they just dead?
Yeah.
A lot of the time. Because Fear of Missing Out's second ability doesn't get a ton of airplay, but it's just like, oh yeah, if you have Delirium and you attack, you get to attack with another thing again. You get 1 untap. And this one gives you 2 untaps. Right? The stats aren't great. It's legendary. It does have 4 toughness.
Survives Bolt, castable off Blood Moon.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Kind of sick.
No,
right?
that is kind of sick.
Yeah.
Those are both qualities ahead of it.
Yeah.
Also, if they have Blood Moon, you're not worried about the Caracas too, so that's cool.
If you have Blood Moon.
If you're right, you can play it through your own Blood Moon, sure.
Yeah,
Or if-
Boros Blood and Taxes.
Dog,
man.
I'm
Yeah.
thinking about trying this in mono white.
Sure.
Yeah.
Sure.
Every player I talk to in Victoria.
This is an
right
exciting
now-
trigger.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Every of like all the top players I talk to in Victoria right now, it's so funny. They're like, yeah, I've been thinking about Boros. It's the deck they all are threatening to sleeve up, but nobody has actually sleeved up.
It's I hate to break it to you. It's good and it's boring.
Right.
Like it doesn't fit. This is something when you think about Victoria, we've been playing this format for 20
Forever.
years.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Almost 20 years. And because
No, 20
of
years is
that,
right.
we have because of that, it's very like we will see Victoria players will go through these stages in the metagame and how what they're approaching in terms of like color combinations, archetypes, whatever, and we'll see other locals go through what Victoria has gone through, like just at a 3
He's
year.
like, oh look, they're
lag.
in their prison phase. Isn't that cute?
Yeah, I mean it's not, but it's like that's just a rite of passage. If somebody in your local figures out that this deck is absurd, they pick it up, they start crushing, and then you kind of adapt to that. And because of all that, local players they like to put a spin on it. If they want the QP, they'll sleeve up the Time Vault. They'll sleeve up the Jeskai, the Flash, I
mean, you say Flash, but Jared, one of the top 8 competitors, most of his QPs were actually from Boros D&T.
That's exactly what I'm saying.
Right?
Jared
Yeah,
doesn't care about being boring. That guy's in it for the love of the game. And that Boros syntaxes kind of deck, like, it's just really good. Dog, you just die. You just lose the game.
Yeah.
Like but it's not.
You just remind your
Sexy.
opponent that everything comes in tapped, and then watch their face kind of
Yeah,
crumble because they
like,
forgot. They're like,
sorry,
oh.
you're like tapped, and also one spell this
Like
turn,
when
and then
you're-
also lightning bolt.
When you're saddling up for your like 1000th Monday of like your life, and you're like, do I really want to play Boros and Taxes? It's like, no, I think
I'll put together ninjas.
Yeah, let's try ninjas. I got a hot new tech. Let's try dredge or whatever,
Yeah.
right?
Oh man.
Good this card's great though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. I keep wanting to say Ralph. All right. Raph and Mikey Troublemakers is a 7-mana 7/7 legendary creature mutant ninja turtle for 5 and a red-green hybrid. It has trample and haste. Whenever Raph and Mikey attack, reveal cards from the top of your library until you reveal a creature card. Put that card onto the battlefield, tapped and attacking, and the rest on the bottom of your library in a random order.
There's
Wheeler.
got it. Okay. You're going to say completely different things than I am, though.
You
Yeah,
both,
go ahead.
you both
Am
want
I?
this.
Hold on.
You know I'm
Wait.
saying something dumb.
Congregation at Dawn? Is that where you're going?
Oh, no, that's smarter.
okay,
Of course,
okay.
no. My immediate thought with this card was just like, wait, can we put together like a polymorph deck that uses
No, that's
natural order
exactly-
on green tokens? You like that? Where you're just
Exactly.
like, can we
Like-
just one turn kill them with this and natural order?
Like
off
you
of,
want
plant
to
token?
try to figure out a way where our only hits are Raph and Mikey and something else.
Yeah, and like
Like
Archon of
Emrakul.
Cruelty or
I
whatever
mean,
it is. Yeah.
Oath of Druids, where your hits are Raph and Mikey plus Emrakul, is actually kind of nice,
kind of hot.
right?
Yeah, you either cast Emrakul or you run into this so you don't mill yourself out, right?
But honestly, if you do Congregation Legion of Dawn, also mad respect. Nothing wrong with that.
I was trying to think, like, what's the congregation?
Dawn stack.
So outside of combo, which is hilarious, are you ever putting this in hoof? Like, are you happy to just like fair cast this off of big mana and roll the dice to hit an elf, or
just
no?
play so much crap in that.
Yeah,
deck.
yeah,
It's
Yeah, not really.
very-
As a 7-drop where you're like
Sure.
paying 7 mana for it, it's not super exciting if you're gonna hit Fanatic of Ronus as your like hit. Of...
And that's the most exciting mandatory organic.
yeah,
right?
exactly. Yeah, I mean, you totally could. Like if I'm giving someone like a budget constraint or whatever, and they just own this card, it's like, yeah, this is a scary thing. If you just put it in play, attack for 7 with trample and haste, like that will end a lot of games on its own. But from deck building, we have access to proxies and stuff.
Sure.
No, I think you want to do Oath
You want to do something
or
fun
weird,
with
weird
it?
polymorph,
Yeah,
indomitable
maybe,
creativity. I don't know.
I could see somebody getting cheeky with like a Gruul Monsters.
I was going to
list.
say Gruul Monsters. Your
they-
hits are big. You might hit like a Llanowar elf.
Yeah,
It's
but
like
they-
a
they
Gruul
just,
Monsters
like-
deck that has room for Mana Vault or something.
I don't
Is that
know.
what you're
They just
thinking?
decide to go like Mox, Tomb, No, like Saga
Oh
Strip
God.
or something.
Okay,
Like they just
natural
find a
order into this?
configuration
Yeah.
where you
Yeah.
NO for this, and it's just like, oh, I guess I flipped over like a Headliner Scarlet or whatever. I mean, I think realistically, if this card shows up, it's some kind of combo, but then the other best place for this is the command zone.
yeah,
Like,
fun commander.
Right up
Yeah.
there with Ilharg, right?
yeah.
All right.
If you do like natural order is only 1 point, so if you are
Right.
just like the fair deck you talked about, that's mostly just looking to win with its planeswalker, like it's Minsc and Boo, but it just has another point for whatever reason. Didn't want to play 3 accelerants and Minsc and Boo,
Right.
and it wants to play natural order instead. It's like, yeah, maybe just include this because there's gonna be situations where you're like, it doesn't matter what else I hit, I just need 2 attackers. In the
I just
red
need a
zone.
7/7.
Yeah.
Okay. Go with me on this journey.
Yeah.
A Storm deck where we just have like
baby.
Summoners Pact.
This is
We
the
just-
card. This is the card of the set.
We just storm into this, cast it, and then we hit our Emrakul.
Sick.
Okay, I'm into it.
Yeah. All right, final gold card is Taka and Razar. Terrible Twos. This is a 2-mana 3/2 legendary creature turtle wolf mutant for a black-red hybrid. It cannot be countered. It has menace, and whenever a player casts a spell, if the amount of mana spent to cast it was less than its mana value, Taka and Razar deal 3 damage to that player.
Hey.
Nelly.
Is it not? Taka is correct. Is it not supposed to be pronounced razor? I could be wrong. It's been so long. Anyways, very.
Some fan is screaming my name. Just like,
yeah. One of us is wrong. It's fine. I can't actually remember. Maybe it is Razar. I'm trying to remember like the sound of Shredder, like the voice actor
I'm really
saying it.
pronouncing the H there.
Yeah,
right?
you're fine. No, you're fine. I'm not saying you did it wrong. I just don't actually remember. Anyways, this is super expensive. Sorry, very exciting. This is super exciting.
It was like expensive.
It
huh?
might be. It might be. Kind of reminds me of Squelching Hexer or whatever from the last set. It might be the expensive card in the set. Yeah. I mean, it doesn't have any. It doesn't have any hexproof or anything, but it's only 2 mana.
2
so,
mana, 3 power menace.
2 mana, 3 power menace. Yeah. The stats are great. I like that it can't be countered. Obviously, I love this damage to players thing. It's symmetrical. The amount of mana spent it was cast less than its mana value.
It hits the elemental invocations. It hits warp.
Yeah.
It hits
Right.
Sneak.
Affinity.
I was gonna say sneak. Yeah. The
Yeah.
spider web slinging.
Realistically, you play this, you pressure your opponent, they go, I have to fury your board, and they take 3. Right?
Yeah.
Or much like the Squelchers, like, well, if you're going to fury the board, you're going to pay this ward cost, or snuff out is so funny. I mean, they can't snuff this out because
It's also black.
But yeah, but if they have to cast stuff out on your
Yeah.
other creature, you
Yeah.
know, like it seems like mostly this is a red card.
yeah,
You know,
I think so.
Yeah.
Leyline binding.
Sure, yeah. It hits a lot of stuff that we love in our format, right? You know, your moxes are safe, but yeah, obviously the really regular free spells, you know, and elementifications especially.
This is just great for punishing red, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think probably the red deck should all be looking into it.
Let's move over to artifacts. And starting off, we have the Chrome Dome. This is a 2-mana 1/3 artifact creature robot ninja. Other artifact creatures you control get +1/+0. An activated ability, 5 generic mana. Create a token that's a copy of another target artifact you control. That token gains haste and sack it at your next end step. At the next end step, pardon me, Wheeler.
This is a 2 generic mana lord for artifact creatures. Such a generic category.
Yeah.
That has a mana sink that is mono-colorless mana that can target any artifact you control. And the floor is it targets itself, which then pushes 3 damage. Or
actually,
2
6
damage, like additional damage.
You're not allowed to target itself. It says
Really?
another. It
Another?
says another.
I'd like to take that back.
It's okay.
You copy your cranial plating that already has the copy ability, and you kill them. I don't know. It's like, hey, if you want to tap Ancient Tomb for something,
2017 Serge is like panting over here as he's still sleeving up Hovermere, desperate for any other artifact creatures that are castable.
You should not have been on that card in 2027 or 2017. You definitely shouldn't be on that card in 2026.
Yeah. Oh, I'm not. But, just like
we've come a long way.
Every workshop player is looking at this card and being like, oh.
It's incredible the things they're doing to make this tier 2.5 deck into a tier 2.25 deck.
I'm really excited that they didn't make this one legendary.
Yes.
Yep.
Yeah. It's a very exciting Robot Lord. Doesn't need to tap to give the ability like the other good Robot Lord that costs 2 mana, so it can just get into the red zone itself, which is often relevant in the situations where you care about this +1 power on your other couple of idiots, like getting to sneak through 1 more damage as well. And yeah, the floor on this 5 activated ability really is nothing. Like, you might not be able to use it at all in some games, but then there's going to be games where you get to target your thought monitor.
Yeah, that's pretty nice.
Yeah, Master of Ethereum?
Sure.
Worth noting, it doesn't say non-legendary creature
Yeah.
too. So if you have like a Krang or whatever, and you just want to rebuy that ETB, you can.
Absolutely.
Oh, sorry, Krang. You mean like next card, Krang Utram Warlord?
Yeah, sure, why not?
9 mana, 9/9 legendary artifact creature Utram robot. Flying, trample, indestructible, haste. Other artifact creatures you control have flying, trample, indestructible, and haste. Nelly.
So our Tinker targets mostly don't hit them for 9 in the sky with haste. So that's something the Tinker decks can choose to do now.
So it's funny you mentioned that because you're both looking at this. You're old school Tinker targets and stuff like that, and you're like, if I'm going to Tinker, I'm going to be in a combo deck and I'm just going to win the game. I want to put Tinker in an artifact beatdown deck now and hit this, because previously a lot of the good Tinker targets, like Tinker for Blightsteel, you can't kill them that turn, right? Like it doesn't untap or do anything, but just like a proactive big creature that makes your board impossible. I love this actually.
Sure. Worth noting too, you can make a plan of casting it off your academy, right?
Yeah.
Like it doesn't have any weird colored requirements. It's not an immediate hit off academy. You got to set
big.
up, but
Wheeler.
yeah, it's a cool creature.
You want to play charades? Try to guess what I'm doing.
You're
turning it sideways.
It's a Krakus. He's just
I'm
Krakusing
Krakusing
yeah.
your
Oh, you're
Krang.
Yeah,
Krakusing.
because Indestructible doesn't really care about getting
True.
Krakus.
I mean,
Yeah.
look, I'd love to support
or
you.
no, he's like, oh.
Yeah.
Swords,
Yeah.
path.
Sure,
you
absolutely.
sweet, beautiful boys tinkering for Krangs. I had a thought. I was playing Paradox Combo recently, and I cast Tinker against an opponent, and they go, "Oh, so I'm just dead here, right?" And I had to go, "No, not."
Let me resolve my Tinker.
No, I don't know.
Right.
Which is like that's a terrible thing to think about when I'm casting Tinker.
Yeah, you're
right?
like that. You should be able to be like, yes, you are dead.
Yeah,
Where your opponent
should be-
assumes you're dead.
Like they were like, "You're going to get Time Vault, right?" I'm like, "No," and they're like, "Citadel." I'm like, "No." And I think I got Chromatic Orrery. Or
God.
like
why?
or like
why
I
is
got
this in your
Paradox
deck?
Engine.
Yeah.
Right.
The point, I mean, I did win that game, but the point being, like, I had this moment of like, why am I tinkering if I'm not killing the opponent?
Yep.
And this can do that.
Yeah.
Which is like a blessing for this card and for your goals of doing this, right? But like, it feels real bad when you're staring at this Tinker and like your second best target is like Thought Monitor. Right? I think if you're planning on including this in like an artifact deck that has a beatdown plan, you need a reasonable backup.
Oh, for sure.
Right? Like Tinker for Kappa is not bad.
Yep.
I guess that could be your backup. But then like, how many times are you going to run to a spot where you're like, God, I feel like I Tinker for Kappa a lot and not Krang.
Right.
That's my hesitation. With
Sure.
this.
Sure.
I want y'all to live your best life.
You can play the 7-Eleven Shroud. Like,
Oh yeah, Tinkwell is.
Back to Inkwell Leviathan, the OG.
I thought
Stop
about
getting swords.
after that tournament. I thought about putting Inkwell in because I'm like, that's the thing that I tinker, and they're like, I'm just going to besage you what he gets.
We're back to 2017 here. We had Inkwell. What was the other one? Protection from red and green.
Oh, Sphinx of the Steel Wing.
Yeah, those were the targets depending on the matchup, right? Right. Inkwell was against the control deck, and against the big decks, you just played the other homie.
Obama was the president. Things were different.
All right. Next up, we have Omni Cheese Pizza. 2-mana artifact. It's a food. When this artifact enters, you draw a card. 1 and tap and sack this artifact. Add 1 mana of any color. 2 and tap and sack this artifact. You gain 3 life. Wheeler.
Okay. So I think at some point I said that we don't need to talk about every egg and or nut that is printed into Magic the Gathering. Just the good ones. This is a good one. This is functionally Golden Egg.
Right.
From Throne of Eldraine. Like it does
Another good
exactly the same thing.
Yeah.
But that's like a good one. That's a 2-mana artifact ETB. That's the floor. The fact that it can put itself into the graveyard at like a free mana cost and fixing, say, your colorless mana off of a KCI is huge. Like this is very good. And like a legitimate card that I will include in version of eggs where I'm playing more nuts, or the like KCI combo decks, because I've been playing some of these 2-mana artifacts that don't filter their mana, and boy, you're like, well, I have infinite colorless,
right,
and I need a single blue.
Sure. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
All right. Next up, we have Skateboard. This is a 1-mana equipment. When this equipment enters, tap target permanent. Equipped creature gets +1/+0 and has haste, and it equips for 1. Nelly.
Years from now, we're going to remember that those boots from Outlaws of Thunder Junction exist.
Lavaspur boots?
Lavaspur boots. Years from now, because we're all going to forget what they are this year, because Skateboard taps a permanent, which I just think is like so much more exciting than Ward 1 for any of the decks that are finding the boots off Saga, which already is kind of a low number of decks. Like we all play a bunch of like Moxes, and we play Shadow Spear and Skull Clamp, and then we run out of room to like play with stuff.
There were decks that were high on the boots, and then they're like,
Yeah, I mean, Lavaspur Boots is a card that's in the conversation.
Sure.
So Skateboard should be as well, because it's almost the same card, right? We're like splitting hairs here over the relative value between tap target permanent and Ward 1. It's kind of often going to be pretty close, but this is more proactive and exciting, and players like the big swingy play of like, oh, just remove your blocker suddenly with my Urza Saga.
Yeah, this actually just kills them twice.
Yeah.
Right? Hits play, taps your blocker, makes the new construct have haste, punch for 9 when you were like potentially just going to get to block one of the constructs. Right. Like that's this
card is very,
it's
very
so
good.
Frustrating that this card is good.
Like you hate that it's Skateboard and it's going to be all over the battlefield.
It's just goofy. I mean, it's whatever. It's fine. Very powerful.
Very powerful.
Yeah. It's silently powerful.
Yeah.
I guess is what I'm going to say.
Yeah. It's like Planeswalkers aren't showing up a whole lot in the format right now. Like every deck plays a Grist, and then like there's a 3 fairy running around sometime, but there's not
pretty good at killing Grist.
So good. This card's so good at killing any Planeswalker like that. If you top deck this and you have a creature, it's like, well, you can kill their Planeswalker.
Yep.
Yeah.
All right, and the final card we're going to talk about is the Ooze. This is a 2-mana legendary artifact. Whenever a creature you control, the +1/+1 counter on it leaves the battlefield, create a mutagen token for each +1/+1 counter that was on it. And then tap, exile target card from a graveyard, create a mutagen token. Do you want this one, Wheeler, or I'm going to that?
Well, you added this to the list. I'm curious because my sell me on this.
Sure.
because I look at this and I go, that's pretty cool and does a lot of stuff. Anyways, I'm going to sleeve Agatha's Soul Cauldron.
It looks like if you already have an Agatha's on the battlefield and then you play this, it's kind of fun.
I just like this for two reasons. One is the how dominant graveyard strategies have been.
Right.
Like you just need more ways to tax the graveyard, and people are on Ghost Vacuum. Most people aren't even on Agatha's anymore because it's for 2 and it's harder to search for and stuff like that.
Well, Agatha's more of a proactive combo card.
But so you're just looking for more ways to hit the graveyard, and 2, I mean, you're right. It is just kind of a weird Agatha's, but I just thought this does enough that it's worthy of the conversation.
It does make game objects.
It makes game objects, it taxes the graveyard, and it synergizes with +1/+1 counters. And I think that's really neat, and I think that's worth calling attention to, because I think in the right home, this card is going to do what you need it to do.
Sure.
Brother,
Right.
if you have that mutagen man and then you play this and then you're just like, I'm just going into combat. I don't even care what happens.
Yeah.
You know?
Also-
Caracas, my own mutagen.
Well, just getting a payoff, like Ghost Vacuum is neat for a way to exile their graveyard, but the amount of games that you actually pay 6 to crack it and get a board afterwards isn't all that high. It's normally dealt with before that or the game is over.
Well,
And don't get me wrong, I've done it once, and ironically, it was off a
Right.
Ghost Vacuum that I'd somehow stolen from my opponent off like a Ragavan or something like that, right?
And this like threatens to create power and toughness,
Yeah.
sort of like the hearse, but in a way that doesn't risk itself.
Yeah.
So that's kind of cute. Like with the hearse, it's like if I have to attack with the hearse, then if they deal with it, you've lost your graveyard removal card.
I don't mind this if you're looking for a graveyard answer card in the game object deck. You're probably not going to play Ghost Vacuum, probably not going to play Soul Cauldron, you're probably not going to play Hearse. Like, this lends itself to it. You can also sack it as part of the whatever the artifact that tap.
KCI.
No, not
Right.
KCI. The one that
Time
Time
Sieve?
Time Sieve, right? You
Time
could sack
Sieve.
this to Time
Time
Sieve.
Sieve.
It creates objects to Time Sieve. I don't know. There's a lot of very powerful words on this card, and I think, like I mentioned earlier, I think people smarter than me, you're going to figure out something to do with
Yeah,
it. You know?
Honestly, if we had a rule going forward that just like any artifact that says tap, exile target card from the graveyard and doesn't seem like it's a totally terrible card otherwise, it's probably worth mentioning just because those like graveyard tax cards are so central to the format. Yeah.
That's our set review, my friends. And now I'd like to open up the floor to some general thoughts. How are we feeling about teenagers, mutants, ninjas, and or turtles? Let's start with Nelly.
So we got deeper into the niches or whatever this couple set reviews than I was expecting, and that's great. That's maybe the best thing that a normal set can give us is just like several tools for like 2 or 3 decks in our format.
Yeah, if I want to expand on that,
Yeah.
what do you think the archetypes that won from this set are?
This
right?
is going to shock you, but ninjas.
All right. So,
Ninjas specifically, and then
Yeah.
we did talk about the food game objects deck
Yeah.
a lot, so like Wheeler's Sultai Time Sieve or
+1/+1s.
the myriad decks that are using Academy Manufacturer that people are trying to
Yep.
find the best home for. That conversation continues, unabated. So like those 2 decks, and then also I think the Soul Warden aggro, whatever it's called, Soul Sisters, or like Ruin Your Evening, Beatdown, or whatever it is, anything that's looking to get those gain life triggers. Those 3 stand out the most to me. as,
Wheeler
like,
got 1 egg.
I mean, that per set, right? That's how that deck works. You've got a lot of different expansion
Yeah.
symbols in that deck.
Yeah.
The card I'm the most excited for is just that Natural Order / Order of Druids target, Raph and Mikey. Like, I think there's potentially a cool deck there, or just the same deck with
Yeah.
a slightly different build.
The discard deck
yeah.
got a bunch of
Yes.
as well.
That's a good point.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a few potentially mono black aggro cards in this set. That one, the Rat Verminister,
Yeah.
like
Rat King.
Yeah, that card it's weird, but it's only 2 mana. It just might be like good enough to stick around. I'm curious if we can make something happen with that card. And also just several of the kind of directions that this pushes you in just look like they're going to be fun to brew.
Sure.
So I'm happy for that reason.
Wheeler.
This is a great set for how a majority of players approach Canadian Highlander. It's one where there aren't a ton of cards that are really going to find a home in top tier archetypes, or a like push an archetype over the edge to become, you know, top 5 or whatever, or push it into the top 10. I don't think we're seeing any of those, which is okay. That's fine, right? Because again, that's just not how most people play.
Yeah, like
I
Super
think,
Shredder might show up in Rakdos, but it's not like it.
right?
made
Yeah,
Rakdos.
We get a couple of them, like the Super Shredder, the Taka and Razor, or whatever it's called. Like those cards are strong. They're pre-existing archetypes that are quite powerful. That they can slide. They'll cut a 3-drop and play this 2-drop.
Right.
That kind of thing. And that's cool. I like that pace. Right. I like the fact that there are a lot of cards here where I am thinking, what's a cool deck to play for North 100 Showdown, or to show off on Friday Night Paper Fight, or that will get somebody that plays a deck in a different and therefore worse format. Like, you know, there are Commander players that might be like, whoa, there's a counters deck in Canlander, or like there's a discard deck, there's a food deck, there's whatever, right? Like, or like standard or modern players might give this a shot. So I like that. Anything that catches the eye of people to get them playing Canlander is great. There are some pretty interesting individual designs as well. Like, it's interesting space for them to kind of explore, especially at cost, like at rates that we haven't seen them, like that 2/4 additional combat step, no strings attached.
Right. Just
right?
attack with this.
We're not combat celebrating. We're not FOMO with Delirium.
Or even
I'm just telling you to do it.
in Lord of the Rings, there's like a 4-mana Aylmer that you could do it with other legendary
If a legendary
creatures.
dies or whatever, right? Like,
Yeah.
So that's pretty exciting. The legendary cards from, you know, in white as well. Like, there's some cool stuff here. I am excited to build decks featuring some of these cards and to play them either for content or a week at YJ where I don't mind going 3-1 or like 2-2 draw, like 2-2 or whatever, you know? And that's cool. Yeah. More of that, right? I don't want more cards to make Jeskai stronger.
Sure, yeah.
Or like, I'm not dying to find something to make Citadel Storm better or whatever. So I rather just have cards that make me go like, you know, maybe Oath of Druids into Raph and Mikey into Emrakul. Like, that's dope, right? That's because that's a space where, not to talk about that specific deck again, but like, that's a space where like you're like, okay, you either hit Emrakul or Atraxa or Archon or Gristlebrand or whatever. And you're like, well, that's good.
Right.
But like, if I just hit Atraxa and find some cards and they just like Caracas the Atraxa or kill the Atraxa, not that you can't Caracas Raph and Mikey or Emrakul, but like,
but at least your plan is like, let's just win the game.
It doesn't do the oath thing that shows up in Vintage or whatever, where you're like, no, I know what I'm oathing into.
Right.
And this one is basically just like, you either oath into Emrakul, which is the worst outcome,
right?
Or you oath into Raph and Mikey into Emrakul,
and then
which is
over.
the haha.
Yeah, take 22.
Yeah, exactly. It's kind of cool.
Yeah.
So my immediate thoughts as we go through the set review are like the decks that I'm excited to build. Yeah. And I mean, I've been meaning to build, like everybody at YJ who plays and wins a lot of Magic. I've been meaning to sleeve up Boros for a while, and I think the Raph and Leo really excites me for that one. I might even, you know, you can do more of a red hate bear style and put, you know, Taka and Razor as your red splash on that side. I'm excited to put. I haven't played Affinity in a very long time, and with like 3 cards minimum from the set for it, it's pretty good.
Yeah, I think the Chrome Dome is an include for sure. Krang for sure. The 3/3 flying.
Even that 2 red one is kind of exciting if you go like blue red version.
I don't mind that. Yeah, second.
So that's exciting. I've been playing around with various versions of the discard deck for a while, and I'm like, oh, that's exciting. I mean, the The biggest critique I have of anything right now is with how many sets are coming out. I never feel like I can keep up with the decks that I want to brew and the decks I want to play.
Right.
It's just like by the time I'm finally like, I think I'm getting through my backlog. I think I'm at the point where I'm like, okay, I know what I want to play. I'm not excited. Something else comes out. I'm like, okay. And some of those ideas that I wish I had time to explore just get pushed a little bit further down and further down. But it's probably great for people who only ever have like one deck they want to play. And they just upgrade that, right?
This is less of a conversation about Highlander and more of about like the lifestyle.
Sure.
But like, I guess the way Highlander ties into this is like, if you are excited to play this Rakdos deck,
Yeah.
but a new set comes out and there's like a new distraction or whatever,
Yeah.
that Rakdos deck's still there.
Yeah.
Right? And like realistically, how much does it change? How much does Highlander change outside of Modern Horizons 3? Right?
Oh,
like,
God, yeah.
It doesn't.
Each set brings you like 1 or 2 cards for any given deck.
Yeah,
that,
and like
that's great.
even when you have the aforementioned like top tier decks, getting like Jeskai getting like Oculus or I can't think of another like let's say Red getting Squelcher and like Vibrance or whatever.
Yeah.
Like, you know, even in moments like that, like it's a change, but it's a change in like what that individual deck is capable of rather than like the format as a whole. And like does the fact that Jeskai now has like a closer that also really locks down the board against mid-range change whether or not you're sleeving up Rakdos? Right? Like, probably not.
It probably shouldn't.
I agree.
Sure.
There's too many sets.
Sure.
They're coming out way too quickly, and especially as you get older, and especially if Magic's a part of your job, which is not for everybody, but like it's harder to get out and play with these fun little archetypes that you're brewing or that you want to try to flex. But like, Canlander's going to outlive Magic the Gathering.
Hell yeah.
Like it's... They said it with Cube. I'll say it with Canlander, right? Like you get to control when you want to play that and like your investment, right? Set doesn't look good. You know, who cares?
And yeah, having a backlog of decks you want to play is a good problem to have.
Oh yeah, it's like a very privileged position. Like, oh no, I can't hold all of these ideas. Right?
The thing is, it's so funny because like I feel like more sets than the 3+ core set is what a lot of people want. Like it's kind of exciting.
Right.
It's just 7 is a lot. And like maybe if that were 5, okay, right? 5 still more than what they had in the past. But like, yeah, maybe honestly 6.
One every other month.
For the like committed Canlander player who mostly only plays Canadian Highlander, like it kind of doesn't matter. They could actually release a set every week.
Yeah.
And the Canadian Highlander players would be like, okay, what's that? And reading it across the table, neat. Swords. You know, like just go on with their day.
Magic is a game that you basically you get to decide how you opt in. And like that is a hard transition to make for a lot of people that were buying into every little bit of Magic.
Yeah, like
including myself. Like I literally
you and I both have like being like a limited player as like a little piece of our personality, I think, a little partly, right? Like you don't draft every set, but you'll often like at least once a year there'll be a set where like you like it and you draft it to Mythic or whatever.
And
right?
I used to be able to draft every set
and
that's how I got my cards.
Yeah, and you can remember a period of your life where like, well, I'm going to draft each set like at least 10 times or whatever, and like realizing that you've left that behind and like it has consequences, like it's another bigger conversation probably for another podcast, but like, especially if Magic is your job, like this affects us, but it doesn't have to affect you.
Yeah. You control your relationship with your hobby.
Yeah. Hopefully.
Yeah.
If you don't, go to Google and look up Gambler's Hotline.
Seriously.
Unironically.
Unironically. Yeah.
Especially if you've opened collector boosters in the past year. Please, I'm begging you. It's no joke. It destroys families. Serge?
Let's leave it there. All right, everybody. That is going to do it for our Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles set review. I've been Serge. I've been joined by Nelly.
Go Gaga.
The Wheeler.
I'm the Gaga Goon, he says.
James, you have more to add to this conversation? You said you had a lot to say before.
Cowabunga, my dudes.
Heck
He's typing out the game.
Yeah. Turtle power to you, my friends. Thank you so much for watching. If you have any thoughts about the cards that we talked about, the cards we didn't talk about, hit us up in the comments down below. Remind you that everything we do is brought to you by you with the support of the Patreon over at patreon.com/loadingreadyrun. I've already introduced us. Thank you so much for watching. Have a beautiful day, and we'll see you next time.